Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the animation community, especially indie animation spaces. This video was inspired by a comment I saw. It talked about how people often fall into extremes, either putting creators on a pedestal or tearing them down. And a lot of smaller projects end up being ignored in the middle. I want to be clear from the beginning. This video is not about calling people out or starting drama. It's about reflection, it's about learning. And it's about how we can make indie animation spaces healthier. I think one of the biggest struggles in fandom spaces is balance. Creators are people, they're learning, they're growing. And they're going to make mistakes. Fans are also people, they're passionate, they care deeply. And sometimes that passion can turn into either idolization or hostility. Neither of those creates a healthy environment. Supporting a creator doesn't mean treating them as perfect, and pointing out concerns doesn't mean attacking someone. When a creator or studio becomes very influential, like Glitch Productions, their presence naturally shapes parts of the community. They've made shows that mock or inspire some people, including small creators. What I've noticed in big fandoms in general, not just one, is that conversations can sometimes become very protective. Criticism can feel unwelcome, and discussions can shut down quickly. That's not about blaming anyone, it's just something that tends to happen when communities grow very large, and it's worth reflecting on, because big spaces set the tone for smaller ones. I also want to share a small personal experience, not as an accusation, but as something that made me think. There was a time I tried to interact with a smaller comic creator, and I ended up being blocked without any conversation. I don't know the reason, and I can't speak for her or for anyone else's experiences. But it made me reflect on how important communication can be between creators and their communities. Creators don't owe anyone access, boundaries are important. But conversation, when possible, can help communities feel more human and less distant. This matters because the tone of a community affects everyone in it. When people feel afraid to speak, healthy critique fades. When creators feel constantly attacked, they withdraw, and when small projects feel unseen, creators get discouraged. Indie animation should feel like a place where people can grow together. For creators, even small ones, influence starts earlier than we think. Learning how to handle feedback, how to communicate, and how to set kind but clear boundaries really matters. Listening doesn't mean agreeing, but it does mean acknowledging people, and when boundaries need to be enforced, they can be explained before they become walls. For fans, support is most powerful when it's balanced. We don't need to idolize creators to encourage them. We don't need to attack people to point out concerns. We can support work, be honest, and still be kind. And we can make space for small creators who are still learning. My hope is that indie animation spaces become places of humility, honesty, and encouragement, not spaces of pedestal building, not spaces of harassment, but spaces where creators and fans learn from each other. That's how communities stay alive, and that's how indie animation truly grows. Thank you for listening.